Captain Marcus Chun rubbed his tired eyes as he stared at the star charts on his ship's main screen. The Wanderer was not much to look at. It was old, patched up in too many places, and made strange noises when it jumped to faster-than-light speed. But it was his ship, and it got the job done. Marcus was taking supplies to the mining colonies on the edge of known space. Food, medicine, spare parts for machines that kept breaking down. It was not exciting work, but someone had to do it. The big alien ships never bothered with small human settlements. They had more important things to do. "Captain," called Sarah from the engine room. She was his best engineer, even though she was only 25 years old. "We're getting some weird readings from the sensors." Marcus walked over to the control panel. His ship was small, so everything was close together. The crew was just 5 people, including himself. They had been flying together for 3 years now. "What kind of readings?" he asked. "Looks like a distress signal," Sarah said, pointing at the screen. "But it's coming from the Cathara Nebula." Marcus felt his stomach drop. The Cathara Nebula was dangerous space. It belonged to the Zephyrians, one of the most powerful alien races in the galaxy. They did not like humans very much. In fact, they thought humans were stupid and weak. "Are you sure about this?" Marcus asked. Tommy, their communications officer, looked up from his station. "It's definitely a distress call, Captain. But the signal is breaking up. Whoever is out there, they're in real trouble." Marcus stared at the screen. The smart thing to do was ignore the signal and keep flying. The Zephyrians had made it clear that humans were not welcome in their space. If they caught him there, they might destroy his ship just for being in the wrong place. "Captain," said Elena, their pilot, "I know what you're thinking, but this is a bad idea. Really bad." Marcus knew she was right. Elena had been flying ships longer than anyone else on the crew. She had seen what happened to humans who crossed the wrong aliens. "Someone is in trouble," Marcus said slowly. "That's all I need to know." "But Captain," Tommy said, "what if it's a trap? What if the Zephyrians are testing us?" Marcus thought about this. It could be a trap. The Zephyrians were smart enough to trick humans. But what if it was real? What if someone was dying while he stood here thinking about it? "Set a course for the signal," Marcus said. The crew looked at each other. They did not like this decision, but they trusted their captain. Marcus had never let them down before. The Wanderer turned toward the nebula. The space around them changed from normal black to a purple and blue cloud of gas and dust. The nebula was beautiful, but it was also dangerous. The gas could damage their engines. Strange energy fields could fry their electronics. "Signal is getting stronger," Tommy reported. "I'm also picking up something else." "What is it?" Marcus asked. "Weapons fire. Multiple ships." Marcus felt his heart start beating faster. A space battle was happening somewhere in the nebula. Whoever had sent the distress signal was being attacked. "Can you tell who's fighting?" he asked. Tommy worked at his controls for a minute. "I think, yes, one ship is Zephyrian. The others are Korthic." Everyone on the bridge went quiet. The Korthic were pirates. They were known for being cruel and violent. They captured people and sold them as slaves. If they were attacking a Zephyrian ship, it meant they were either very brave or very stupid. "Captain," Elena said, "we need to leave. Now, if the Korthic see us, they'll attack us too. And if the Zephyrians see us, they'll think we're working with the pirates." Marcus knew she was right, but he also knew that someone needed help. The Korthic did not take prisoners unless they wanted to sell them. If they were attacking the Zephyrian ship, everyone on board was in danger. "How far away are they?" Marcus asked. "About 20 minutes at current speed," Sarah answered from the engine room. "Can we get closer without being seen?" Elena thought for a moment. "Maybe. The nebula is full of interference. If we stay quiet and move slow, we might get close enough to see what's happening. Marcus made his decision. Do it. The Wanderer moved deeper into the nebula. The purple and blue clouds grew thicker around them. Their sensors had trouble seeing through all the gas and energy fields. But that also meant other ships would have trouble seeing them. After 15 minutes, Tommy held up his hand. I've got them on sensors. 3 Korthic ships attacking 1 Zephyrian vessel. Put it on the main screen, Marcus ordered. The image that appeared made Marcus angry. The Zephyrian ship was beautiful and sleek, but it was clearly in trouble. Its shields were failing, and pieces of the hull were breaking off. The 3 Korthic ships were ugly and covered with weapons. They were taking their time, playing with their victim like cats with a mouse. The Zephyrian ship is not fighting back, Elena noticed. Their weapons must be damaged. Marcus studied the scene. The Zephyrian ship was much smaller than usual. It looked more like a personal transport than a military vessel. That meant it probably did not have many people on board. Maybe just a few. Tommy, can you pick up any communications? Let me try. Tommy worked at his controls. After a moment, voices came through the speakers. They were speaking in the Zephyrian language, but the ship's computer translated them. This is Princess Leroy of the Royal House. Our engines are failing. Please, someone help us. Marcus felt his blood turn cold. A princess. The Korthic had cornered a Zephyrian princess. If they captured her, they could demand anything they wanted from the Zephyrian Empire. Or worse, they might just kill her for fun. Captain, Sarah said quietly, what are we going to do? Marcus looked at his small crew. They were scared, and they had every right to be. The Wanderer was just a cargo ship. It had no real weapons, no military shields, no trained soldiers. Going up against 3 Korthic ships was suicide, but someone needed help. And Marcus had never walked away from someone in trouble. We're going to save her, he said. The crew of the Wanderer stared at their captain in shock. Save a Zephyrian princess from 3 Korthic warships? It sounded impossible. Captain, Elena said carefully, we have 1 small cargo ship. They have 3 warships with enough firepower to blow us apart. Marcus was already thinking. His mind worked fast when people were in danger. What cargo are we carrying to the mining colonies? Sarah checked her list. Food supplies, medical equipment, and 50 cases of industrial mining charges. Mining charges, Marcus repeated. An idea was forming in his head. How powerful are those charges? They're designed to blast through solid rock, Sarah said. Each one could blow a hole in an asteroid. Marcus smiled. His crew knew that smile. It meant their captain had a crazy plan. Tommy, scan the area around the battle. Are there any asteroids nearby? Tommy worked at his controls. Yes, sir. There's a small asteroid field about 10 minutes away. Perfect. Elena, I need you to plot a course that takes us through that field. Sarah, I need you to rig some of those mining charges so we can drop them from our cargo bay. The crew looked confused, but they started working. They had learned to trust Marcus's strange ideas. What are you planning, Captain? Elena asked. We're going to make the Korthic think they're surrounded by enemies, Marcus explained. We drop the charges on asteroids as we pass through the field. Then we blow them up from a distance. It will look like ships are hiding behind the asteroids and shooting at them. That might actually work, Tommy said slowly. The explosions will create sensor shadows. On their screens, it will look like multiple ships. But we still have to get the princess off her ship, Sarah pointed out. Marcus nodded. That's the hard part. Elena, after we create our fake fleet, I need you to get us close to the princess's ship. Use the confusion to hide our approach. And then what? Elena asked. Then I go over there and get her. The crew went quiet. Going from one ship to another during a space battle was incredibly dangerous. If either ship moved at the wrong time, Marcus would be lost in space. "I'll go with you," Sarah said. "No," Marcus said firmly. "I need you to keep the engines running. If something goes wrong, you might need to get us out of here fast." The Wanderer moved toward the asteroid field. Marcus could see the battle getting worse on the main screen. The princess's ship was barely holding together. They did not have much time. "Charges are ready," Sarah reported from the cargo bay. "I've set them to explode when they hit something hard." "Good. Elena, take us through the field. Drop a charge on every third asteroid." The Wanderer flew between the floating rocks. Each time they passed a large asteroid, Sarah dropped one of the mining charges. The charges stuck to the rock and waited. "All charges placed," Sarah announced. "Now we move to position," Marcus said. "Get us close to the Korthak ships, but stay hidden behind the asteroids." Elena was a good pilot. She knew how to use the asteroids to hide their ship. The Wanderer was small enough to slip between rocks that would block bigger ships. "Ready?" Marcus asked. "Ready," Tommy said, his finger on the button that would set off the charges. "Do it." 50 explosions lit up the asteroid field at the same time. The bright flashes would blind sensors for several seconds. More importantly, the explosions created clouds of hot gas and metal fragments that looked like weapon fire on enemy scanners. The effect on the Korthak ships was immediate. Their formation broke apart as they turned to face threats that were not really there. They started firing at asteroids, thinking enemy ships were hiding behind them. "It's working!" Tommy shouted. "They think they're under attack from multiple directions." "Elena, get us to the princess's ship. Fast!" The Wanderer raced through the confusion. The Korthak ships were too busy shooting at rocks to notice one small cargo ship. Elena brought them alongside the damaged Zephian vessel. "Hull breach in their cargo bay," Sarah reported. "I can get our docking tube connected." Marcus was already putting on his spacesuit. "How long until the Korthak figure out they're shooting at rocks?" "Not long," Elena said. "Maybe 5 minutes." Marcus checked his suit and grabbed a portable medical kit. "If I'm not back in 4 minutes, leave without me." "We're not leaving you," Sarah said. "That's an order," Marcus replied. "The princess is more important than any of us." Marcus entered the docking tube that connected the two ships. The tube was normally used for transferring cargo, not people. It was narrow and dark, but it worked. The inside of the Zephyrian ship was a mess. Broken equipment was scattered everywhere. The lights were flickering. Marcus could smell smoke and burned electronics. "Hello?" He called out. "Princess? I'm here to help." He heard a weak voice from somewhere ahead. Marcus followed the sound through twisted hallways. The ship's gravity was failing in some sections, so he had to push himself along the walls. He found Princess Lirale in what looked like a control room. She was trapped under a piece of heavy equipment that had fallen when the ship was hit. Her species looked like humans, but taller and thinner. Her skin was pale blue, and she had 4 arms instead of 2. "Who are you?" she asked in accented but clear human language. "Captain Marcus Chun. I'm here to get you out." "You're human?" she said, surprised. "Why would a human risk his life for me?" Marcus was already working to lift the equipment off her legs. "Because you need help." "That's enough." One of her legs was badly hurt. Marcus used medical foam from his kit to stop the bleeding and support the broken bone. It was not perfect, but it would keep her alive. "Can you walk?" he asked. "I think so," she said. Marcus helped her stand. She was much taller than him, but very light. "We need to go." Now, they moved as fast as they could through the damaged ship. Princess Lirale was limping, but she kept up. Marcus could hear the battle outside getting closer. The Korthik were probably figuring out his trick. "Tommy," Marcus said into his radio, "how are we doing?" "They're starting to realize there's no one behind the asteroids," Tommy replied. "You need to hurry." Marcus and the princess reached the docking tube. Getting her through the narrow space was difficult because of her injury and extra arms. But they managed. "Got her," Marcus announced as they entered the Wanderer. "Elena, get us out of here." The small cargo ship pulled away from the princess's vessel, just as the Korthak ships realized they had been tricked. Energy beams flashed through space where the Wanderer had been only seconds before. "They're coming after us," Elena warned. "Into the electromagnetic storm," Marcus ordered. "What storm?" Sarah asked. Marcus pointed at a swirling mass of purple energy in the nebula. "That one." "Captain, that storm will destroy our electronics," Elena protested. "It will destroy theirs too. But we're smaller and more flexible. We can survive it better than they can." Elena shook her head, but she turned the ship toward the storm. The Korthik ships followed, firing as they came. The Wanderer plunged into the electromagnetic storm. Lightning crackled around them. The lights went out. The engines made horrible noises. But Elena kept flying, using only her instincts and experience. Behind them, the Korthik ships tried to follow. But their bigger, more complex ships could not handle the storm. One by one, they turned back. When they finally emerged from the storm, they were alone. Princess Lorelei was safe. Princess Lorelei sat in the Wanderer's small medical bay, watching Sarah work on her injured leg. The human woman was being incredibly gentle, even though the princess was supposed to be her enemy. "This might hurt a little," Sarah warned as she cleaned the wound. The princess had never been treated by a human doctor before. She had been taught that humans were primitive and violent. But Sarah's hands were steady and careful. She worked like someone who truly cared about healing. "Why are you helping me?" the princess asked. Sarah looked up, confused by the question. "You're hurt. It's what we do. But your people and my people are not friends." "That doesn't matter," Sarah said. "You're a person in pain. That's all I need to know." The princess thought about this. In Zephyrian society, everything was about politics and advantage. People helped each other because they wanted something in return. But this human seemed to be helping simply because it was the right thing to do. "The bone is broken, but not badly," Sarah explained. "I'm going to put a support brace on it. You'll need to rest for a few days." "A few days?" The princess was alarmed. "I need to return to my people immediately." Captain Chun appeared in the doorway. "Sorry, but that's not possible. The Korthik are still hunting for you. We picked up their communications. They have ships searching all the hyperspace routes back to Zephyrian space. Then contact my mother's fleet," the princess said. "Tell them where I am." "We can't," Marcus explained. "Any message we send could be traced. It would lead the Korthik right to us." Princess Lorelei felt trapped. She was stuck on a human ship with people she was supposed to consider inferior. But these humans had risked their lives to save her. It made no sense according to everything she had been taught. Over the next 3 days, the princess observed the humans carefully. She expected to find evidence of their supposed cruelty and stupidity. Instead, she found something completely different. She watched Tommy share his dinner with Elena when the food replicator broke down. Elena had been working double shifts to keep them hidden from Korthak patrols, and she was exhausted. Tommy gave her half his food without being asked. She saw Marcus give up his own cabin so she could have privacy while she healed. He slept in the cargo bay instead, making a bed from supply containers. Most surprising of all, she watched the crew work together with perfect trust. When Elena made a dangerous maneuver to avoid a Korthik patrol, no one questioned her judgment. When Sarah said the engines needed time to cool down, Marcus changed their course without argument. "How long have you served together?" The princess asked Marcus one evening. 3 years, he replied. They were in the ship's small common area, sharing a simple meal. And they follow your orders without question? Marcus laughed. It's not about orders. We're a team. We trust each other. Trust, the princess repeated. The word sounded strange in her mouth. In Zephyrian society, trust was earned through contracts and guarantees. Here, it seemed to be given freely. How did you become their captain? She asked. I didn't become their captain, Marcus said. They chose me. Sarah needed a ship to work on. Elena wanted to see the galaxy. Tommy was looking for a place where his ideas mattered. We found each other and decided to fly together. No contracts? No legal agreements? Just our word to each other. The princess could not understand this. What if they decide to leave? Then they leave, Marcus said simply. I would wish them well and help them find something better. That night, the princess lay awake thinking about the conversation she had heard among the crew. They talked about their families back on Earth, about planets they wanted to visit, about dreams they hoped to achieve. But they also talked about each other with genuine affection. Sarah mentioned that her brother was getting married next year. Elena immediately offered to arrange their schedule so Sarah could attend the wedding. No one expected payment or favors in return. Tommy talked about wanting to study alien languages at a university. Marcus promised to save extra money from their cargo runs to help pay for his education. These humans cared about each other's happiness. Not because they had to, but because they wanted to. On the 4th day, something happened that changed everything for the princess. Incoming message, Tommy announced. It's from a neutral trading station. They're offering to buy our passenger for 1,000,000 credits. The princess felt her blood turn cold. Someone had discovered she was on this ship. They were offering the humans enough money to buy their own planet. She waited for them to discuss the offer. 1,000,000 credits would make them all rich. They could retire and live comfortable lives. Marcus's response shocked her. Tell them no, he said without hesitation. Sir? Tommy asked, confused. Tell them we don't have any passengers. And block their communications. I don't want to hear from them again. Tommy sent the message and cut off contact. Captain, Elena said carefully. That was a lot of money. It was blood money, Marcus replied firmly. They want to sell her to someone. Probably the same people who were shooting at her. But think of what we could do with that money, Sarah said. Marcus turned to look at all of them. What we could do is wrong. The princess is under our protection. That means something. The princess felt something break inside her chest. These humans had just refused wealth beyond their dreams to protect her. They did not even know her real name, but they were willing to sacrifice everything for her safety. Besides, Marcus continued, how could we live with ourselves? Every time we spent that money, we would remember that we bought it by selling someone into slavery. The crew nodded. They understood. The princess realized that for humans, some things were more important than money or comfort. They had something her advanced civilization had lost, honor that could not be bought or sold. Captain, she said quietly, my name is Lirelei, Princess Lorelei of the Royal House of Valthara. Marcus smiled. Nice to meet you, Lirelei. I'm Marcus. For the first time in her life, the princess understood what it meant to be treated as a person rather than as a title. The next morning, Tommy picked up new communications. The hyperspace routes are clear, he reported. The Korthik have moved on to hunt somewhere else. Then it's time to take the princess home, Marcus said. But as the Wanderer changed course towards Zephyrian space, Princess Lorelei found herself wishing the journey could last longer. She had learned more about honor and friendship in 5 days with these humans than in 20 years among her own people. She was about to discover that her mother, the Queen, was about to learn the same lesson. The moment the Wanderer crossed into Zephyrian space, alarms started screaming on every ship in the area. 12 warships moving to intercept, Tommy announced, his voice tense. They're surrounding us. Marcus looked at Princess Lorelei. I guess they found out you were missing. They think you kidnapped me, she said, worried. My people do not trust humans. They will assume the worst. The Zephyrian warships were massive compared to the Wanderer. Each one could destroy Marcus's cargo ship with a single shot. They formed a perfect circle around the human vessel, weapons locked on target. Human ship, came a cold voice over the radio. You are carrying stolen property of the Zephyrian Empire. Surrender immediately or be destroyed. Let me talk to them, Princess Lorelei said. Marcus activated the communications. This is Princess Lorelei, she announced. I am safe and unharmed. This human ship rescued me from Korthik pirates. There was a long silence. Then a different voice responded. Princess, are you speaking under threat? Are the humans forcing you to say this? No, she said firmly. Captain Chun and his crew saved my life. They are returning me home of their own free will. All the same, the voice replied. The human ship will be escorted to the capital world for investigation. Marcus sighed. He had expected this. Understood. We'll follow your lead. The journey to the Zephyrian capital took 2 days. The entire time, warships stayed close to the Wanderer. Their weapons never stopped tracking the small human ship. I'm sorry about this, Princess Lorelei said to Marcus. My people are suspicious by nature. It's okay, Marcus replied. I would be suspicious too if I were them. But the princess could see that Marcus's crew was nervous. They all knew stories about humans who had entered alien space and never come back. When they finally reached the capital world of Zephyrus Prime, the sight took Marcus's breath away. The planet was covered in crystal cities that sparkled like jewels. Ships moved in perfect formations through the sky. Everything was clean and organized and beautiful. Your world is amazing, Sarah said, staring at the view screen. It took us 10,000 years to build, the princess said proudly. Then she paused. But sometimes I wonder if we lost something along the way. The Wanderer was guided to a landing pad inside the royal palace complex. As soon as they touched down, Zephyrian soldiers surrounded the ship. They were tall and graceful, carrying weapons that hummed with energy. Stay close to me, Princess Lorelei told Marcus. I will not let them hurt you. Marcus and his crew were escorted through corridors made of smooth white stone. Alien art covered the walls, showing the history of the Zephyrian Empire. Everything was perfect and cold and beautiful. They were brought to a vast throne room with a ceiling, so high Marcus could barely see the top. At the far end of the room sat Queen Valthara on a throne made of crystal and starlight. The queen was ancient, even by Zephyrian standards. Her pale blue skin showed the marks of 4 centuries of life. Her 4 arms moved with perfect control as she studied the humans before her. My daughter, the queen said, her voice echoing in the huge room. We rejoiced when we learned you were alive. Princess Lorelei bowed to her mother. I live because of these humans, mother. They risked everything to save me. The queen's eyes focused on Marcus. They were silver, like mirrors, and seemed to see into his soul. Human captain, the queen said, you have done something unexpected. But I must understand your true purpose. Your Majesty, Marcus said, trying to remember the proper way to address royalty. We found your daughter's ship under attack. We helped because it was the right thing to do. The right thing, the queen repeated. She stood up from her throne and walked down to where Marcus stood. Even without the elevation, she was much taller than him. Do you know who I am, human? You are Queen Valthara, ruler of the Zephyrian Empire. I am indeed. And do you know what that means? Marcus was not sure how to answer. It means you're very powerful? The Queen almost smiled. It means I control the fate of 300 billion souls across 50 star systems. It means I command a fleet that could turn your homeworld to dust. It means that with a single word, I could make your species extinct. Marcus felt his crew tense behind him, but he did not back down. Yes, Your Majesty. I understand. Then tell me, the Queen continued, why should I believe that you saved my daughter without expecting something in return? In 400 years of rule, I have never encountered an action without motive. Because it's the truth, Marcus said simply. The Queen studied him for a long moment. Your ship's computer would have records of your communications during the rescue. Will you allow us to examine them? Of course. Your crew members will be questioned separately. Will you allow this? Yes. And you yourself will submit to a mind scan to verify your honesty? Marcus hesitated. He had heard about Zephyrian mind scans. They could read every thought, every memory. It was incredibly invasive. If it will prove that we're telling the truth, then yes. The Queen signaled to her guards. Take them to separate chambers. Begin the investigation immediately. As Marcus was led away, he heard Princess Lorelei call out, Mother, please. These are good people. That, the Queen replied, is exactly what I intend to discover. For the next 6 hours, Marcus was questioned by Zephyrian investigators. They wanted to know everything about his life, his crew, his reasons for being in their space. They scanned his ship's computer and found records of every conversation during the rescue. They discovered that Marcus had indeed refused a 1,000,000 credit ransom for the princess. They found no evidence of any secret deals or hidden motives. They learned that he had given up his own cabin for her comfort and shared the ship's limited food supply. Most importantly, they performed the mind scan. A Zephyrian telepath touched Marcus's forehead and read his thoughts and memories. The process was uncomfortable, like having someone rifle through his most private moments. When it was over, the telepath looked confused. Well? Asked the lead investigator. He is telling the truth, the telepath said. But more than that, he never even considered asking for a reward. The thought never entered his mind. He saved the princess simply because she needed help. The investigators looked at each other in amazement. This was not normal behavior by their standards. Meanwhile, similar investigations were conducted on Marcus's crew. Sarah, Elena, and Tommy all told the same story. They had risked their lives because their captain asked them to, and they trusted him completely. When the investigations were complete, Marcus and his crew were brought back to the throne room. Queen Balthara was waiting for them, but she was not alone. The entire royal court was present. Dozens of high-ranking Zephyrians filled the vast space. The investigation is complete, the Queen announced. You have told the truth in every detail. Marcus felt relief wash over him. Does that mean we can go home? The Queen's silver eyes fixed on him. That depends on your answer to one question. Yes, Your Majesty. What do you want as a reward for saving my daughter? Marcus was quiet for a moment. Then he said the words that would change everything. Nothing, Your Majesty. Your daughter is safe. That's all the reward I need. The throne room went completely silent. Every Zephyrian present stared at Marcus in shock. What the Queen did next surprised everyone in the room, including Marcus himself. Queen Balthara stepped down from her throne and walked toward Marcus. Every person in the vast throne room held their breath. The Queen's forearms moved gracefully as she approached the human. Captain Dot, then she did something that no one expected. The Femme de Jote. Queen knelt down in front of Marcus. Gasps echoed through the throne room. Princess Lorelei covered her mouth in shock. The royal court stared in disbelief. In 400 years of rule, Queen Balthara had never knelt before anyone. Your Majesty, Marcus said, confused and uncomfortable. Please stand up. I don't deserve this. That, the Queen said, looking up at him, is exactly why you do deserve it. She stood up slowly, her ancient joints protesting. When she spoke, her voice carried to every corner of the room. Members of the court, she announced, today I have witnessed something I thought was extinct in the galaxy. True honor, pure selflessness, heroism without expectation of reward. The Queen turned to address the entire court. This human captain saved my daughter's life. When offered payment, he refused. When questioned about his motives, he had none except compassion. When threatened with death, he stood firm in his honesty. But Mother, one of the court members said, he is just a human, a primitive species. The Queen's silver eyes flashed with anger. Primitive? This man possesses something we have forgotten in our 10,000 years of civilization. He has a soul that cannot be bought, corrupted, or broken. She walked back to her throne, but she did not sit down. Instead, she remained standing so everyone could hear her clearly. I have ruled for 4 centuries, the Queen continued. In that time, I have made thousands of alliances. I have negotiated countless treaties. I have rewarded acts of supposed heroism and loyalty. But every single action was motivated by gain. Every hero wanted something in return. Every ally sought advantage. The Queen paused, letting her words sink in. Until today. Today, I met a being who saved my daughter simply because it was right. Not because he expected reward. Not because he feared punishment. Not because he wanted to gain favor with our empire. He did it because someone needed help, and he was able to provide it. Princess Lorelei stepped forward. Mother, during my time on their ship, I saw more genuine kindness than I have witnessed in years at court. These humans shared their food with me. They gave up their comfort for my safety. They turned down wealth that would have made them rich beyond imagination. And that, the Queen said, is why today marks a turning point for our empire. She gestured toward Marcus and his crew. These humans have shown us something precious that we lost long ago. While we built our crystal cities and perfect fleets, we forgot what it means to help someone without expecting payment. The Queen raised her voice so it echoed through the chamber. I hereby decree that humanity will be granted full membership in the Galactic Consortium, under the protection of the Zephyrian Empire. Any species that threatens humans will face our full military might. The court erupted in surprised voices. This was unprecedented. The Zephyrians had never offered protection to another species without demanding something in return, but the Queen was not finished. Furthermore, she announced, I established today the Chun Doctrine, named for this captain who has reminded us what true honor looks like. Marcus felt his face grow red. Your Majesty, that's not necessary. The Chun Doctrine, the Queen continued, states that any species or individual demonstrating pure altruism toward other races will be granted special protected status in our empire. They will have the right to travel our space freely and call upon our aid when needed. She looked directly at Marcus. Captain Chung, I name you the first guardian of compassion. You will have the authority to intervene in conflicts where innocent lives are at stake, backed by the full power of the Zephyrian fleet. I don't know what to say, Marcus stammered. Say you will accept, Princess Lerai urged. The galaxy needs people like you making decisions. Marcus looked at his crew. Sarah nodded encouragingly. Elena smiled and gave him a thumbs up. Tommy grinned and said, Go for it, Captain. I accept, Marcus said, but only if my crew can help me. I can't do this alone. Of course, the Queen agreed. But tell me, Captain, why do you seem uncomfortable with dishonor? Marcus thought about the question carefully. Because I didn't save the princess to become famous or powerful. I just wanted to help. If I start thinking about rewards and titles, I might stop being the person you think I am." The Queen smiled for the first time since they had met. "And that, Captain Chun, is exactly why you are the right person for this responsibility." Over the following days, news of the Queen's decision spread throughout the galaxy. Other alien species were shocked that the powerful Zephyrians had chosen to protect the weak humans. Some laughed at the idea that humans could teach advanced civilizations anything about honor, but word also spread about what Marcus had done. Stories were told of a human cargo captain who risked everything to save a stranger. Other races began to remember their own legends of heroes who helped others without expecting rewards. A month later, Marcus stood on the bridge of his ship, now equipped with advanced Zephyrian technology. The Wanderer was still the same small cargo vessel, but it could now travel faster than ever before and communicate across the galaxy instantly. "Captain," Tommy announced, "we're getting a distress call from the Rigel system. A colony ship is under attack by slavers." "How far away?" Marcus asked. 6 hours at maximum speed." Marcus smiled. "Then let's go help them." As the Wanderer jumped to faster than light speed, Princess Lorelei watched from her own ship nearby. She had chosen to serve as the liaison between humans and Zephyrians. Traveling with Marcus on his missions, thought she had learned that humans had something more valuable than technology or weapons. They had the ability to inspire others to be better than they were. In saving her, Marcus had saved something in her mother's ancient heart as well. The galaxy was a dangerous place, full of cruelty and selfishness. But now it also had guardians who fought not for conquest or profit, but simply because it was right dad, and that made all the difference. Princess Lorelei smiled as she watched the stars streak past her window. She was learning to be more human every day, and she had never been happier.